Welcome to another episode of Positivity. I'm truly excited to be back and with familiar faces, right? The
Yes.
last episode did over 15,000 views just on YouTube alone,
Yeah.
and
Unbelievable.
collectively thousands of views on the other platforms and what people sent it around. We did a Google Drive of it, so there's like, it's impossible to know. When I noticed about the podcast, the last time where it was unique is that people shared the podcast, meaning jeder Mensch hat es geshared mit seinen 20 or 30 singles and it just went viral. Like that's why that. So I'm saying the same thing over here. By the way, we're gonna give a huge update, and right away I can tell you you can share this with all of your single friends, and because this is truly going to be a game changer. And I use the word change because we are changing the way it's done, meaning that those people that already gave up hope, they now have a way that they can actually find their bashert, and it's a lot more sufficient. Like in a sense, if you remember, I in the beginning I said, hold on, why are we helping people like on a golden atat? Shouldn't everybody just go out and find their own shidduch or call a shatchen themselves? Like, why are we spoon feeding it to them? But then I noticed that no, this is what Klal Yisrael is about. We're about helping other people, right? Like you can call AAA, but you can also call Chavayrim, and they're there in 5 minutes, right? Yeah, same thing over here, right? Everybody will eventually find their shidduch, maybe, but here we're just doing it at rapid speed and a lot more sufficient, and I think that that's incredible. How's been the feedback so far that you heard?
I'm so glad that we're up to here, and thank you again for coming to follow
Yeah.
up. It was, I mean, we were all blown away by the success. The amount of dates that happened last week was how much?
Right.
Over 10
Over 10
Can I
dates,
know?
just like 10 to 15
that we know about.
that we know about.
Right.
Some people switch numbers, exchange numbers there, but the ones that wanted help with us matchmaking was about 10 to 15 dates
Right.
last week alone.
Right.
So-
And Rivki, is there a shotgun involved? How are they actually executing on the dates that happened there?
Okay, so we have a shadchan involved, Leah Appel. She's
Okay.
amazing. She's been working around the clock.
Okay.
Legit.
I know because she messaged me.
Yes, so she's been reaching out
I had
slowly
the
but
dating
surely.
coach message me, and then the
Yeah.
shotgun.
So we have an awesome team. That's for sure. We have a
Right.
great team. We're 12 people on team.
Wow.
So we have the dating coach, we have the shadchan, we have us, and more. The feedback was incredible, unbelievable. The amount of people that came back, the feedback. People are like, "Oh my God, it would have taken me." I had a few comments that stuck in my head. One specific person said that he's, I think, single for over 7 years, and he found 3 solid options, and he said it would have taken him to find these girls, the data, the time,
Yeah.
over 3 to 4 year span to find what
Right.
he found in one night. you
Right.
know?
Right.
That was one comment. There was another person that was, these people were all blown. Like people came out.
Right.
Not everybody came out with a date, but even not, like everyone was like, I think it was a better success than we actually expected it to
Right.
be.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So
Amazing.
that was for sure. I mean, unbelievable the feedback that we got, and
It was respectful. It was
classy, respectful, just really on point. Like
Right.
it was really on point.
Okay. So
I mean, you were there, so
yeah. So I'm just gonna I wanted to give you a word before I go for my 2-3 minutes and share the experience. So my experience was, first of all, people probably don't understand this. They think that because I'm out in the public or because I'm a public figure or even because I was involved, they think that it was easy for me to go. They don't have no. I had real anxiety going in, healthy anxiety. Like I was okay with the anxiety because anxiety is also excitement. So I had a real feeling of that, and it's Matzah Shabbos.
and you
So
had
it's
to
a
go
lot.
out of your comfort
Yeah,
zone.
exactly. So I think that everyone there walking into the space is the first thing that first of all that I got was your husband at the door, by the way. And he's the cutest guy. I mean, I just love him. And he was like checking, he was like, yeah, you're good. You're gemaakt met dat vaas and the tickets, because I know that je kent staan unkennen. Nobody showed up there. So yeah. Coming in right away, I also greeted, I think, Mrs. Hannah Kahana, which actually we had her on the podcast. So I didn't know she's there. You didn't tell me, but she's the greatest coach. By the way, from my podcast, she keeps on sending me screenshots. She told me she already did 3 shidduchim from people coming because of my podcast to her. She coached them and they got engaged.
Wow.
So it's nice.
That's incredible.
She's
Yeah.
incredible. So she also greeted me. And then I feel like there were so many people over there to help you besides the singles that it was incredible. And I met a lot of my friends, guy friends. I met a lot of women that I've met in the past, girls that I've known from here or there. But I think that the environment and the idea that everybody's there to challenge themselves and go out of their comfort zone really worked out. Now, so for the first hour, we basically, it was anybody was able to speak to anybody and introduce other people. I actually took that time to introduce some of my friends to some girls that I
That is
knew.
special.
So I went over to these girls, and I had my friend right next to me, and I told the girl, "Have you met my friend Nehemia?" And I'm sharing this because this is a classy way that anybody can introduce any guy or girl at any point. If obviously if it's appropriate and done correctly, you can introduce friends to one another.
And it takes away your anxiety.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
So I just left because I helped both of these people at once. Two birds, one stone. You know. And then there was delicious food at the event, and then there was a speed dating session where everybody had the chance to meet everybody. And even though the age ranges were a little bit wide, but it was also, you can also sit and talk to somebody and see what they're looking for, so that you can help them potentially, or even just talk to them about how they're enjoying the event. It gave them a little bit of a break between from when they get to the next person that is a real potential, between this person that you're probably thinking right away, no, this is not really for me. All that said, the event was just done really well. Shout out to RSVP, the owners, and what they did is an incredible job. They were both there.
Yeah, they put their heart.
And the manager was there, Ellie Zabner. Like, they put their heart and soul into it, and they fought for this event, and they made sure that it happened, and it really came out nice.
Yes.
Bottom line is, when I left the event, there were 3 girls that I felt that I can truly go out on a proper date, and obviously a lot of other people that I met just and said hi to them. So I feel like the event was really done well.
Thank you.
And the bottom line, the main thing that I want to say is, like you said, I feel like I've met so many people over there that I've heard of their names in the past or got their resumes, and within a couple of hours I was able to meet 50 different people and get to know who they are, what they are, instead of needing to waste my time in the future of going out with them for 2 hours and wasting the time. I just had that 5 minutes of conversation with them was enough to tell me if there's any potential over there or not. So I truly see this as the future of Chassidish dating, and it was done like respectful, you know, in nicht spritzesdik. Bottom line, that's what I can say. Like, it says nicht megait, in says, like, it was really done respectful, and I think that was what everybody felt at this event. So my question, I'm as curious as the entire world is, and I told them specifically I don't want to discuss this before the podcast. What are the future plans? What are the next steps? When is the next event happening? How is it going to be? Is it going to be different than the first one? A lot of people surprisingly didn't even watch the first podcast or didn't hear back from someone that was by the event. As we know, there were only 100 people there. I did hear one comment that I want to address. Like, a lot of people were saying that girls will not show up, only guys, and I was trying to explain to them that this is clearly vetted, and there was waiting lists for both guys and girls to come to the event. And obviously, if the event is on, might has to do equal amount of girls to the amount of guys. So to say that the guy no girls will show up is just nonsense.
No.
So go ahead. What are the future plans?
So the future is we're doing another event on March 8th.
Oh wow! So do I date on our list?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah, there is.
Wow.
There is a waiting list already.
Okay.
So whoever is going to show up to this event needs to register, because this event will be vetted.
Right.
We're going to vet whoever comes in to make sure
Right.
that the age group works and the type of people in the room mesh with each other.
Because this first event had, the only thing that I noticed is, as we discussed, there was a big age range. Obviously, 25 to 40 is quite big, as well as even religious levels. But also there was like people with kids, without kids. Are these things that are going to be on the next event? What is the theme of the next event?
Okay, so the next event, this current event, was basically whoever wanted to sign up, signed up. We did a little bit of a vetting process, a little bit.
Meaning, when you signed up, you knew that's a guy in Zamastam that same mention that can be appropriate to you, and the other 40 will just not be in your bracket at all.
So this time around, you have to sign up. Like, the only people that are actually going to get in is signing up and filling out on Show Up. There's a whole questionnaire.
Right.
Kids, no kids, age range, stuff like that. So we're really going to divide the event to be more targeted. This wasn't,
instead
this
of
was
just
less targeted.
giving your name and saying that you're going to show up, you're going to start doing files of every
Correct.
person.
So this is
Okay.
an actual. This next event is going to be way more targeted,
Okay.
and now we're going to target based off of the demand that we see. But if you're going to come to this event, it's going to be more for your kind of people. That's number one. Age range is also an importance. The divorce, non-divorced. Again, there are people that are willing to take
Right.
divorce with kids, and there are people that are not. So that's not going to be divided, probably. But we're going to figure out some kind of way that when you sit with someone, you know their situation.
Oh,
or
that's what you mean.
somehow,
Like I met a really cute girl my age, but
Okay.
she's like, I have an 8-year-old daughter, and I've said many times, like I don't know if I can become a husband and a father in one day. Like it's a lot.
Right.
So I can see an importance over there as to either notifying before or dividing these type of events.
Right.
Okay, so what's this event for? The March 8th. First of all, we have a location already or not
So
yet?
we're disclosing the location, but we will inform everyone closer to.
Right.
But yes, the date is set. We have a date set. We're going to do it more targeted age wise, and that's going to be based off of
Have you
the
decided on these
resumes.
details,
No.
by the way?
We haven't decided on the details, and the reasoning
So-
being is that we have over 100 people signed up already.
Right.
We're waiting for
For-
more registrations.
Right,
and
right.
We're gonna divide it
Uh-huh. Okay.
Accordingly.
Right. So
Yeah.
this is a call to all the people,
That's
and
right.
especially, and Mimi, die bist Eides du.
Gross.
Weil man kann hören, the ganze Podcast in Yiddish technically,
Yeah.
because if you don't speak Yiddish, but a lot of people that speak English just want to know,
That's
they
right.
want to be in on the news.
Yeah.
That's why
Yes.
we're doing it in English. But your Eides that I sent you messages almost daily, not from boys, but from girls that
True.
wanted to register,
Sure.
and they were perfect for the event,
Yes.
but Ms. Gewein Phil, and you
That's right.
held to your word. Adi
That's
schon
right.
reingelassen mehr Menschen. So ich
Yeah.
gewollt so
We
werden.
couldn't.
We
Yeah.
couldn't. So ich bin Eides klar. Ich weiß, dass do many quality girls. That girl that I sent you, by the way, kennst du an potential, by the way,
Yeah.
von mich, by the
Yeah.
way.
Okay.
So ich weiß,
So
ich
let's
darf gehen durch the event oder nicht.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something. We had 100 people, and it was overwhelming. You saw how
Overwhelming.
overwhelming
Yeah.
it
Ich hatte
was.
nicht gewähnt. I think it was perfect, whatever. But I will say, after 2-3 hours, I was exhausted. Especially
Yes.
for me, I'm
Yeah.
a HSP, highly sensitive person.
Yeah.
Like all that sensory is a lot for me.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Like as well noise and as well people and energy.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot.
That being said, so this is the reach out to all those people that message me. Please go share this podcast with a friend and let them register. Send in your information.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like mention gemeint, we can schicken a resume of WhatsApp and they just
Yeah.
because I'm asking 9. The email process is very well done. It's in nachazach. Even if you're not going to be even if you don't join the second event, yeah, let's say you're very Chassidish, or let's say you're very not Chassidish, whatever the case is, whether you're old or young, koidem like it on a register. Let's say that there's a group of hundreds of over 50 that are watching this, right?
Yeah.
If you get the files of 50 people over 50
50.
that want to go out, right, then you're going to make an
An
event for
event.
that.
Sure.
Yeah?
That's true.
Yeah.
So I want to remind people that we reppen von zwei Chassidische Frauen, successful business people. They both own separate businesses. Ich Menschen gefragt, sie mogen machen Geld von der Event and whatever. Ich weiß,
Mit
dass-
ausgeliked.
Exactly.
Yes.
So this is purely L'Shem Mitzvah. This was one of the questions that I got a lot.
I know
And ich
people-
weiß for a fact, as this is purely L'Shem Mitzvah, pink verkehrt. It's because I hinderte Schuhes von Zeit and Geld for them and for their husbands. Yitzi and Yoeli, right? And other people, right?
Yeah,
Well,
all of them.
yeah.
Yes, everyone volunteered their time. Tversky's,
So-
everyone volunteered.
Right. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Tversky, right. So the point is that like Zarana register or send us to a friend that can register and just help a person. Stel dir vor, the schickst es a Chaver, and because of this, wird engaged because of this event. And when I say because of this event, it's not like 1 in a million chance. There's actually a huge chance because when he goes to an event and he meets 10 or 20 singles, he has a much bigger chance. So kann sein, sein ganzer dating career, it can be a 30-year-old, was in sein ganzer dating career hat nicht rausgegangen mit so vielen Menschen. I want to just share an inspiring story. Ich rede sie Sachen.
No.
Ich komme etwas zu
You
sagen.
go.
Perfect.
You go.
Okay, I had a friend, mit mich ungetrunken als Schiddich, a girl from Monroe. A very nice girl, 19-year-old. Mit mich ungetrunken, and I said, I don't think it's for me. I said, I have a friend from Yeshiva, and I think that this might be good for him. And I think maybe he reached out to me a few weeks before or not, which just shows the power of Machana Klein to reach out. And I tell the Shatchen, try it for my friend. He trok down the Shidduch. 2 weeks later, they were engaged. So the reason why I'm sharing this story, this is ein wow, Baruch Hashem, I had the schir to do a shidduch. But the real wow is this. I asked my friend, wieveel dates or how many shaddichim had me getrokken before this? Because you were 25 and a half. Dus is geen jinge bocher in the Chassidish world. He told me 0.
Wow.
0 dates, 0 shaddichim from when he turned 18 till when he turned 25 and a half.
Yep. Very
And
sad.
that's very, very sad. And
Right.
these events give a boy or a girl the opportunity to go at one event and meet 20 people.
Yeah.
By the way, can I say something?
Yeah.
They get to meet these 20 people b'show style.
Yeah.
True.
So you're taking back, by the way, you're going back a step.
Yeah.
That's true.
As de voor alle mensen was haben moiras is ich was, we're
It's
going back.
real
You're going
b'show.
b'show style. Dus dat is robotisch met supervision van alle zaken.
That's true. That's true.
So and
It's done
I just
professionally.
truly admire this.
Yeah.
I'm going to flash on my phone. Oh shit. So yeah, I think that's
I
incredible.
want to say that in the Chassidish world, I had a conversation with my sister-in-law that has a son that's 20 years old, and she says, today I have to reach out to Shatchunim. This doesn't work the other way around anymore today. And we're talking about little kids. We're talking about the 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
As
Today's
was,
days
I'm a
it-
trocken schon.
But Truk Nishu no
Why?
more. You have to reach out to the Shatchunim today.
Uh-huh.
I didn't
Wow.
know this.
Right.
And she
right.
says, I have to
So
be
this-
the one.
Right. So
And I
yeah,
also have a friend that was constantly set up with a certain guy, and they didn't want to go out. They actually met at our event and they hit it off.
Wow.
So you never know.
Wow.
Just show up and register,
Right.
and like that, it'll help us make it a success for you.
Right. That's incredible.
That's it.
I think it's amazing.
So March 8th, Matzah Shabbos.
Oh, so
Gonna
noch einmal
be-
Matzah
yes,
Shabbos.
Yes.
And March 8th is almost. Nog 3,
Yeah,
4 Wochen.
Yes. I think Merik the Zeiger that
The
Matzah
week
Shabbos.
after, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
The week after or that
I
week?
think so.
En we gaan
Oh,
losen
okay.
wissen a location. Es geht an derselbe Sache. Oh, by the way, eins habe ich vergessen zu sagen. Sie gewinnen Drinks a ganze Nacht. Weißt du, was ihr könnt ordern Drinks.
Yeah.
And sie gewinnen delicious food. From
Yeah.
sushi to...
It was,
Ich hab ein Video. Ich kann gaan aanleggen in de video en de
Maybe.
vlog en de podcast.
yeah.
Ich hab dat video just van de food. Ik
Yeah.
heb gemaakt toen met phones.
Yeah, there was a no phone policy, which was amazing.
Right. Voor die wil wissen wieso is er gewoon notes. So I'm
That's
just
right.
sharing. So you pens and papers, pencils and papers. Excuse me. And you were able to write down either a name or a number for that reason, and on a paper. So you have the distraction of a phone. It was done very sufficiently. I
Yeah.
think that was
Besides
incredible.
for that, I felt like people came with feedback that they really enjoyed having to put away their phone and really engage.
Engage and connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I spoke to so many people that said, yeah, not everyone was interesting for me, but that was the
Right.
enjoyment of like no pressure. Like,
Yeah.
this
Right.
person's not interesting for me,
Right.
but I had a nice conversation, you know.
Right. So the next
Yeah.
event will have any of the people that were at this event or the visa arbiters, or you still didn't
So-
decide yet.
So I'll tell you what it is. We have, before this event happened, we had almost 100 signups that didn't make it into this event.
Mhm.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Right.
So for the next event, obviously I'm going to prioritize the people that didn't make it yet
Right.
in. But there are going to be probably some because we want to.
Because you feel like a good candidate is all
Yes.
Kimon
Yeah.
in yeah.
Yeah, and also I felt like this past event there was an overwhelmingly amount of people. We're going
Ah.
to probably cut it down.
So from
I think we did
some
100 last time, so I think we're going to do 80 this time.
80.
80.
Yeah.
I just felt like we want everyone to actually meet everyone,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel like it was able to be done in this event.
Especially if it's vetted even more. This meant is from the 80,
There's
you're gonna
going to
have
be
40
bigger.
and 40.
Yeah.
Is do a greater chance that you'll find
Meet people,
Meet
correct?
people.
Correct.
What are you aiming for? Which is an interesting question because you haven't decided properly. What are you aiming this event to be? Which age range and
Okay, so
which,
the age range I felt was very wide, but I think for the girls we could do a lower age, a bigger gap of age, and
Okay.
men not. So we just have to figure out the numbers
Mhm.
and what makes sense.
Right.
I think we're going to stick to the older age range regardless, meaning
Right.
we're not doing the 20s, obviously.
Yeah.
We're going to stick to the probably
Right.
girls from 25 to 35 and
Right.
men a little different. Men probably a little older, maybe 28 to 40. I don't know exactly. We're going to figure that all out.
Right.
I think we're going to figure out in terms of the religious aspect of the criteria based off of who we have more majority of. You know what
Right.
I mean? If we have way more Chassidim or ex Chassidim, that we're going to depend on. I
Right.
think that. I think
Right.
that's where it's going to depend on.
Ex-chused or not, it's still a chused, right?
That for sure. That's why we had such a successful
You know, they
event,
say
even
the
with the age
atheist.
range.
They say the atheist is the biggest believer because
Yeah.
is busy a ganze Tag, as er nicht du kann Gott. Like he's the biggest believer. Is the greatest, you know. So the ex-chused, I find that hand rief men hand to say OTD used to stand for over the derech. Now it stands for on the derech. But the idea is that ex-chused or not, or how they want to call it, is noch als mind that they still chused. And even the fact that they call themselves ex-chused, schreit as sucht ich bin a chused and I want to connect with Hasidim.
When I looked around the room, I was quelling, like to see every type of chused in the room and
100%.
having one thing in mind to find their bashet was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Taka, you had to go through 5 that's taka not for you, and then the 6th was like, so we're gonna try to vet it better. But I wish everybody can be in one room and it should continue being the way it was, because this is what Hasidim are.
Right.
We're all shapes with one big heart.
Right. I also think that it matches where the world is now.
Yeah.
Like the idea van a Bucher treft nur ein Meidel is something that people don't appreciate anymore. And I think that maybe it has a part to do with the divorce rate in our communities, because they get the opportunity to have a show with only one girl. Hat nicht geahnt was besser mind. So the first girl, obviously there are sparks flying there because they're excited. So okay, glach a connection. Rega. If I were to give you in the selbe hose das you had the eerste show, I would give you 10 girls. I'm sure that you wouldn't choose the first. You would choose number 7. And with these dating events, I'm saying it because I have a feeling that there's going to come up an event, whether it's this one or the next, that's going to be real Chassidish. This mind like echt
really
Chassidish. The way I started off when I went into Shadichem, right? So
that's what we're hoping, because those boys really come crying to my husband. They're like, I'm 29, kind of kicked my chashun.
100%.
And the girls wouldn't come to such an event because they have moida.
Right.
But they need it the most.
Yeah.
So
and
I hope that there's going to be an awareness that all those girls should know that this is a respectful event for you to find your bashir. That it's in a bashow up setting.
Major question that a lot of people asked. It was the event costed $150 for guys, $100 for girls.
Yeah.
Yet, if you ask me, was my days geteen, because we never discussed this. We got it's ausgefunden the echte Enfer. But if you ask me why we did it, is because I think that the ratio is just that this is an event where guys are going to meet girls, so they should pay $150. And the girl is something that needs the push, so that's why it's cheaper for them.
Makes sense.
Or because the guy works and usually makes more money than an average girl. But hand kann man schon nicht wissen, by the many of the girls that were there were very rich girls and whatever. But what was the reason for the price difference?
I mean, for me, I thought that when a guy goes out on a date, he pays for the whole date.
Right.
Yeah.
A Frau soll pay in half. So that was my thinking.
Yeah.
Very good. Good gesagt. Because
really
a lot of
what
people
it
were like,
was.
"Oh, was charged man so."
I know.
So the next event will cost the same price, 100 and 150. You're trying to keep.
We're not even covering the venue, so we have to cover something.
Right.
So
Right. Really, really, and congratulations on the success, by the way. I
We
told
had-
you we sat after the event almost an hour in Magashmi Zaman, and it was like we were blown away. Like. I'll be honest with you, over Shabbos, when the anxiety kicked in, I was like, there's so many different ways that this event can go. And the fact that it went well was just incredible.
Yeah. And honestly, I think we also didn't expect it to go as well as it actually went.
Right.
I think whoever I knew that was coming also panicked. I think everyone panicked. And I just think that not only was it such a big success, but so many people that have been at this event said, I'm signing up for the next one. I'm coming.
Yeah.
And the ones that actually went out on dates,
by the way.
the ones that went on dates told me, listen, if I'm not thinking I'm coming back, but if I am engaged or if I found my partner, I'm going to send all my friends. I have voice notes, I have text messages. You have no idea. Mimi and me were like, we'll do this event. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. The demand is there. We already set a date. A few days after, it was 2 days after. We already were like, okay, next one. We have a lineup of over 100 people that signed up. That's before this podcast is coming out and before we say even there's a date.
The last event was 9
date.
days ago. by
Right.
the way.
Okay.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
we
the
figured
event was
we'll
9
do.
days ago from when we're recording.
So
this.
we have. It was 5 weeks. We're doing 5 weeks from the first
Yeah,
event to the
right,
second event.
right.
But yeah, this is going to be a serious vetting process. So if you want to come, you have to send in. You have to go on and email.
Yeah.
No protectia. You know, I had a few
Yeah.
of my.
Register.
You don't know how many people called me protectia this that, and I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
I cannot get another person in the door.
Yeah.
We were already to the capacity. You saw what went on there.
Mhm.
Even I just want to say, even I didn't have protectia. I wanted to bring a friend, and Mimi was like, "Nope."
That's how I say it.
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I'm just
I'm
saying that the
sorry.
event.
I'd like
I'm
to
just
be-
saying that this event is serious
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
There's
really
no,
serious. It's
it's
very
become
serious.
monkey business.
Yeah.
You know, you just answered my question because I was going to ask you what drives you to do another event. Ich weiß bei Amos, ich weiß klar, ich habe gemacht de Cheshbon von Geld, by the way. That I saw right away the amount of money wie viel se kimt daran and the amount of money wie viel the Platzer gekost. It just
And the
equals.
music and everything else.
And
You
ze
saw what
gewen
was
shine
it.
music, and ze gewen geherige professional coaches. But it's like it's impossible to make money. Like you guys can crunch the numbers. There is not money in this
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
And so I was going to ask you what drives you to go forward, but you're telling me that the amount of reach outs is coming around.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
Yeah,
It's
nonstop,
just,
and the dates that we're hearing
Keeps on giving.
and keeps. It's mind blowing,
Right.
and we have to continue just for the people and to
Right.
give back for our community.
Absolutely. So
You know?
this is where I want to remind people two things. Number one, that no matter if you feel that you're the right fit or not, fill us application. There's no harm in that.
Yeah.
You'll get a response to your email or you get a phone call like Megat Cannon from the number one. Number two, if you don't make it to the event, because a lot of Bukhara message me, they're like, oh, if I was can I come to the event, or some of them got an email afterwards saying that, hey, we see your information. It doesn't seem like this is the event for you. I told these people, like, relax, like they're just placing you on an event. So versta that their plan, I think, is in the next few months to do multiple events every month or so.
Once a month, yeah.
Once
Yeah.
a month, and se gaat aan completely different levels.
Exactly. We had people come from Canada.
Oh,
I had a bucher that older bucher. He kept messaging me. He's like, I don't want to go to a Nebuch thing. I don't want to. I said, listen here. If you think this is a Nebuch, don't come.
yeah.
I met him at the event. He was beaming from ear to ear.
Wow.
He's like, Mimi, I this is the best day of my life.
Yeah.
He went out with a few names of dates. And also a girl from London came. People from London,
Oh,
Esro,
wow.
Miami, Detroit, Canada, all over.
Unbelievable.
Lakewood, Brooklyn, whatever. But it's incredible how what noise we
Right.
did.
What a
and
power.
What a
Right.
power this is.
I think that Mimi and myself didn't realize how this is going to become
Sure.
something.
True.
We started it thinking, okay, like I want to help some of my siblings. She
Right.
has family members. And the fact that it blew up, that's why we're continuing to do it.
100%.
Because of the amount of A signups,
Yeah.
B people feedback. I mean, people are waiting for the next one. Well,
Right.
where am
Yeah.
I? I didn't get into this event. I
Right.
want to come.
Yeah.
And people want to come back anyway. So
Right.
then
Did you
that's what
get
sense.
any hard pushback? I mean, did you,
No, I got a drop of, there was a little criticism, which
Yeah,
was
which is
good
normal.
feedback. And I always told
normal.
everyone that was there, I said, tell
Mhm.
me. Like I reached
Yes.
out to multiple people. I said, what did you think? Whatever. So a lot was the age range, the spectrum of, different kinds of people, which most people were still very impressed
Right.
with because
Mhm.
it was done in such a good way. It
Right.
was, it was, it was
a big space.
You're saying that
lots of people.
the next event won't have surprises. Me weiß pinklich wer se kim, the age
Yes.
range, and when somebody
Yes.
signs up and they get information, yes, you are invited to this event.
Correct.
Weiß me
No.
pinklich wer se kim, wo sie sind, wo sie siegen, and alles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like you said earlier,
amazing.
sign up regardless because we're collecting a database.
Yeah.
And even if they're not, some people that have made it to this event and is not making it to the next event, we could still,
Match them up.
the shadchan is sitting there with pen and paper and
Right.
she's like, oh, this might be good for this. And I
Mhm.
had that today.
Yes.
She had told me there was one girl that didn't make it into the event and wanted to really come. And she's like, I really think it would be perfect for this guy.
Oh, yeah?
And we're
Yeah.
working on setting it
Yeah.
up.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
And this
Um,
is not even by the event.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge success. I personally have so many friends on both sides that would join this event.
So let's do it.
Like, there's tremendous amount of people that can join.
Mhm.
I have no question about it that it's going to be sold out one event after the other. It's just a
Yes.
matter of who's
Yes.
gonna get in
Yes.
there, and eventually we machen genig events as jeder einer soll können attenden als an event and get that experience. I mean, I also see it a little bit like a workshop. Like for any mensen zal zich challengen uit van zijn comfort zone to get to speak to the opposite gender in a controlled environment. Gets that opportunity to do that.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
true.
one. It's, you know, it's not something that people get to do often.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's
so
it.
follow our Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh.
Show up.
Show up.
At Show Up.
At B'Show Up.
And then
BSHOW
UP.
UP. Okay. And the email is join B'Show Up.
Yes, but they should just register. If they go into the Instagram, there's going to be a link where they register and they have to fill out the questionnaire.
Yeah.
And once you fill it out, it'll make with a picture.
Yeah.
We will vet everybody and we'll make sure that the
and we're gonna put
for you.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on the bottom of the podcast wherever you're listening. There's going to be a link to register. I also want to make a kleine disclaimer that ich ben happy at ourselves with the event, but I'm not in charge of this event. So a lot of people message me after the podcast. They're like, Ellie, Dan event. So ich ben okay aan zoek ze aan event, but I want to just fully give it over to the both of you and say that this is Zaire. No, a lot of people ask me, they're like, oh, Ellie, how was your event with these gemacht? Hello. This is your event. I'm happy to be a part of it. I hope I get to join the next one, by the way, regardless of, I don't know if I'm going there single or not. I think that one day I'll be coming to these events with my wife.
For sure, that's
and helping,
what I see.
and helping
one
people.
One day you'll be a facilitator.
At the end of the day, this is why I'm doing this. And this is the first one to give in for views. The second one is to help out people, right? So I want to say it's their event and it's a Kimsel's Sach credit. And by the way, I think you got a lot of nice feedback. You told me in the first few days you couldn't breathe with feedback. Like, wow. And I didn't get not one negative comment, by the way. Did you personally in your WhatsApp, at einde die gezoek, was this to do? Like, was only positive.
Before and after. Like, it was incredible.
Right.
Yes.
And also, besides for not being your event, we also don't want private messages. There's an email.
Right.
So we've been also very, 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 very busy with our Instagram, WhatsApp.
Instagram
messages.
has 1,000 followers.
No, I'm saying
right?
even us personally, in our personal page, we got a lot of questions, messages. There is an email.
Did we answer all the questions? Can we think of any question that somebody might have?
Well, we could discuss exactly how the event went. You mentioned it in the beginning. Everyone came in. There was a little bit of mingling. There was great food. There was great alcohol. And then after that, we did an icebreaker game. So it was not an official dating situation. It was more of like cool you off idea, so to speak. It was like easing you in. So it wasn't anything intense. She asked some questions and it was an icebreaker situation.
So basically people sat on a long table across.
Yeah, so the women sat on one side, the men sat across. And
you had to ask a question from the person sitting opposite to you.
Yeah.
Some of the questions were like, where did you travel once in your life? Or where do you want to travel? Or how many kids you have? Or do you have kids? Have you been married? And then every 3 or 4 minutes, the women stayed sitting and the men switched over so that they can now speak to the next girl at the event.
Right. So, and we found that everyone was enjoying themselves and they didn't want to finish this. Some people didn't want to get up and move to the next. But it was interesting. It was interesting to watch. It was amazing. We thought. We had a little intermission. So there were 2 breaks, one for regular food, one again for dessert. They brought out beautiful desserts. So that was good. And you're saying the next event will be pretty much structured the same. Pretty much.
So you expect that when you come in, somebody's going to greet you, ask you your name. Not somebody that's single, obviously somebody that's there. Also, that's something we didn't mention. Every person that was there and was not single but was like a staff to help out had a separate badge. First of all, everybody got a badge with their name. And second of all, those who were staff got a heart. And why is there a heart? Because they found love already. Obviously, okay.
I think there were 2 hearts for they found
2
love.
Hearts, right. So I'm gewist exactly who was staff, and at any point you had I remember for myself, sometimes I was a little bit glazed and whatever, and right away somebody would come over to me like, Ellie, bist okay? Like, you're doing well, or anything. There was always somebody helping me out. And I was always given for jedem, not just for me, obviously.
That was our goal, that my staff should be warm, welcoming, and we totally understand how nerve-wracking this was for all of you. And we made sure that we understand and we eased everybody. So yes, this is so don't worry, when you come in, you'll be taken care of.
Right.
in a very kind way.
Right.
No?
I'm just makana your schiz because I feel like in a couple of maybe in a year from now, when you're gonna look back, and there's no question about it, you're doing now the second event, you're going to see on your list Geit Stein. I don't know if you do an event every month, and let's say only 5 shadichim happened, you're going to be looking at a list of 50 shadichim that happened, like or 25 shadichim. Like I think it's pretty crazy, when you think
Crazy.
now about it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That feeling.
We didn't even know what we got ourselves in.
We had no idea.
We just
Yeah.
thought of our family and friends.
And that's how you
it
start
blew
something.
up.
And it's not even normal because
Yes.
we didn't think there was going to come out 1, 2 shadich, not
Yeah.
even shadich. I'm talking about dates.
Dates, yeah,
We
yeah.
did the amount of dates that we know about is
Right.
over 10, and
Right.
Yeah.
we don't even know how many happened without
Right.
our own with not in our watch.
Right.
And okay, now we're waiting for the shidduch to happen.
That's it,
Okay. All
that's
right. Met
it.
zich vragen bij de gasten.
Mimi and I are going to have a lot of events to hit.
Right.
That's
Right,
it,
right.
That's it. That's the goal.
All right. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for watching this. I'm truly, again, amazed by these people. I'm truly grateful that this event happened. I, for myself, had a great time and made great connections. And I truly, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm noticing how this is the future. Like,
That's it,
Yeah.
that's
and
it.
you know, I want to. We keep on closing up here, but
Yeah.
you said before that Bukharam don't call Shatchunim anymore. And I want to just say, from a Shatchunim perspective, I
Yeah.
never brought up a Shatchun on the podcast, and I want to do it.
Mhm.
But Shatchunim are burnt out, and I can tell you a
Yes.
few
Yes.
reasons why.
Yeah.
It's a zai schwer hand to just match up people. This
Mhm.
is 2025.
Mhm.
I'm Bucher, I'm idol. It doesn't work anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
These Bucherim want to meet more girls. These girls want to meet more boys.
Mm.
Like wie frem, wie Chassidish.
Yeah.
They want opportunities of
Mm.
dating. So that's one of the reasons why they're not listening to Shatchan. They're like, als geht van denen, they don't want to go that side. Obviously,
Mm.
for certain areas, arbeit is nog, isn't right. But many of the times, it just, that system doesn't work anymore.
Mhm.
So this is not just working for the people that, in my opinion, it's not just going to work for the people that are not getting calls from Shatuna, but even those who are, but they say, Arega, there's a different way to do this. Let me try that
Mhm.
different way.
Mhm.
Another thing is that a lot of Shatchunim are ausgebrannt. Simple. They
Yeah,
either because
I
of
think so.
of the money that they're not getting or something like that.
It's a
Which,
lot
by
of
the way,
work.
if I
It's
can
a
put in a
lot of work.
suggestion, I don't know if you did that. Did you have that? Meldaf signen that or bashidach kimt aroz, then they pay Shatchunas geld.
We didn't.
We didn't.
Do it yet,
I think you
but
should put that in
we should.
because
We're up to the beginning stages.
Yeah.
Let's first have a
but
shidduch happening.
my suggestion is because I just registered for
Yeah.
episode andere Zach. I forgot what
Okay.
it was to join
Oh.
up as a WhatsApp group, and they said that if I find my shidduch from there,
Yeah.
I basically signed that I'm going to pay, I think, $2,000, not a lot of
Mhm.
money. So I
Okay.
want you to be very aware of this because
That's
what
true.
happens if somebody gets engaged? Where does the
That's true.
Shatchuna's money go?
Yeah.
Right.
It should
You're
go
right.
to fund the events, or it should
True.
go to fund your time.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
just an
Thanks
idea.
for the advice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We need it.
En jede wilt zo'n, by the way.
Yeah.
Any average mensch will but zo'n. Ik weiß, but zult schon for the event $100, the
Yeah.
$150,
Yeah.
but still, when he finds the love of his life, I think he wants to pay $2,000 to
Yeah.
support
Yeah.
whoever did the shidduch,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and obviously all the work in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chevra, thank you so much, guys and
Yes.
girls. Sign up if you're a parent, send this to your child. If you're a child and your parent is single, send it to your parent. Whatever it is,
That's it.
send it to a friend, share, leave a comment. If you have any question, Freg around. We'll try to address every single question that's on this. Thank you for supporting until now. Thank you for watching the podcast until now. I want to invite you to join the membership because for $10 a month, you can see exclusive content, unseen content, including van deze podcast. We gaan zich zetten door recorden op een minuut voor mensen die zijn overgesigned to support the channel.
Amazing.
And so join the membership, subscribe. Keep in mind Weber Media for all your social media needs. If you want to put your brand out there on Instagram or LinkedIn and increase brand awareness and sales, reach out to myself. I'll put also a link to my number in the description. And we'll put the link obviously to the event. Sign up and see you there. Thank you.
Thank you.